Hello, everybody. Welcome to the 5th episode of the Mental Health Minute by Elite DNA. I'm Phil Cirrone, the Chief Operating Officer at Elite DNA. I'm with my co-host and Chief Clinical Officer, Dr. Sharon Bloom. How are you, Dr. Bloom?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you. Phil, there's just a lot going on in the world right now. Today's topic has to do with how real-world events impact the work that we do.
Yeah, and to help us talk about that today, we have one of our therapists from our Port Charlotte office, Sandra Landers, who is a licensed clinical social worker with over 20 years experience. Good morning, Sandra.
Good morning. How's everybody?
Oh, very good, thanks.
Good. Sandra, so help us out. How, as a therapist, can you be there for all of your clients in the wake of what's going on in today's world?
Well, Sharon, first of all, thank you so much for having me. Really, to answer your question, I guess I would say that I remind myself, first of all, that my client and I share an undeniable commonality. I mean, we have something in common that we can't deny. We are both human. So I remind myself of that. And in the wake of what's happening with the unresolved issues of race or of right and wrong, I'm all about creating an open and welcoming space where my client can say what's on their mind and heart. And, you know, I may ask, so how are you dealing with all of that, all of this? And it's okay if either of us say, I don't know what to say, think, or feel about it.
So,
Yes.
Sandra, I'm curious, what happens if a client in a session asks you specifically about how you feel about a certain event?
Well, especially with all of what's happening, I remind myself that my professionalism isn't supposed to take away my humanity, but, it's supposed to enhance or increase it. So if I'm asked, how am I dealing with all of this? I would just answer with gentle honesty, remembering that I am creating that safe space for my client, not them for me. And I, as a therapist, I can express to my client my emotions of fear, disappointment, or anger, but my views and opinions are my own, which I keep to myself, as theirs are their own. So one of the things I remind myself, and something I've learned throughout these years, is, we clients and therapists, we both live in the real world. And issues outside of the office and our homes, they may affect our inner world of feelings, our inner world of families, and our everyday actions. And so all these years I've been doing this, there's a truth that keeps getting more true every day, whether in therapy or life. And that is, avoiding or acting like our problems don't exist or aren't there is what generally brings an accumulation of problems. Meaning the mountain just gets bigger. It doesn't go away. But when we acknowledge them, as in therapy or life, and we consistently work on them, that's what moves us forward.
Well, I think you raised some excellent points, Sandra. And this is certainly a time of some shared experiences. Here in Florida, we're no stranger to that. It's called hurricane season.
That's right.
And like you said, it's a careful balance for us as therapists between being human and present and maintaining boundaries because the patients are not coming here to take care of us or to worry about us.
That's right.
We do have our own emotions and reactions because it is something that we are all going through. We are all seeing on the media in the same way. So we're apt to have some response. And I think your approach is good, allowing them, giving them permission to talk about these issues if they wish. And if they don't, then they will simply go on to what is on their mind, which will be the focus of that session. And that's okay too. So I think that idea of creating that safe space, whatever that looks like, and giving them the opportunity to process their emotions is, part of what makes the therapeutic relationship very special. It's very different than talking with a friend, for example. So I think it was well said about our role and how we can be human together during this challenging time.
Thank you. Yes, do agree.
And I think that's helpful for people who are, who are watching at home, because if you've never had therapy, I think there's this belief that, just like you said, Sharon, it's similar to talking to a friend, or I don't want to go to therapy because I don't want to, I don't want someone who's like my parent telling me what to do. And I've heard that before from clients who are inquiring about services. So I think that insight as to, really what therapy is about and what it's not about is important for people to really get a proper understanding, so they, they know it isn't that conversation with a friend, or it isn't being told what you should or shouldn't feel from a parent or whoever. So I think that's extremely helpful. Awesome. I really appreciate your input, Sandra. I thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And hope you both have a great day. If anybody's interested in inquiring about therapy services, especially with a great therapist or licensed clinical social worker like Sandra, you could always go to our website at elitegna.us, or you could reach us by phone at 239-223-2751. Look forward to seeing everybody on the next Mental Health Minute, and have a great day.
Bye-bye.